So after the INT, it's Brady. Gets it to Gordon. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to them. 11 yards and a first down.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
They go play action here on first down. Looking deep downfield. Trying to squeeze it into Edelman, and it's intercepted. Picked off by DJ Swearinger. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. Edelman was the intended target. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Smith. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Well, we got a second here after that incompletion. Let's have a little fun. I know you saw Ryan Fitzpatrick's get-up in the post-game press conference after Week 2.
And we're not talking about the beard this time.
No, well, that was part of the ensemble.
We're talking about the trappings, aren't we?
How about that, Albert? Those were Deshaun Jackson's clothes, is
That's
that
my
right?
understanding. Clothes, jewelry, shades, the whole deal. He came out and paid homage to his guy who got him a 75-yard touchdown pass in the game, and everyone had a ball with it. Media, team, Fitzpatrick. You name it. I'm sure Deshaun Jackson got kicked out of it as well. Personally, I thought he raided your closet because when I saw him come out, I said, hold a second. That's how Brandon dresses when we leave a ball game.
My favorite thing, though, from all of this was the social media posts that had 2 different pictures. On the left, it was his freshman year at Harvard. Looked like the All-American boy. And then that press conference photo on the right. You want to talk about the alter ego of somebody? That was it right there. Now it's Smith. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Jonathan Jones that time, the one who got a hand in, knocked it away. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
The Redskins on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10. Again, Smith. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Well, CD, switching gears for a second, you know, there's been a special teams issue so far in the NFL this season, especially you look at Week 2 through Sunday's games. There were 19 missed extra points and field goals combined between all the kickers in the league.
And if you look at Minnesota and Cleveland, that's where the spotlight really focuses because Minnesota, rookie kicker Daniel Carlson, they spent a 5th-round pick on him, supposed to solve their kicking issues.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Brady now on 1st down. Goes right side, complete to Gronk. And now before this 1st down play, we're going to get a timeout here. As the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the 1st half. Gronkowski had a frustrating Week 2. Just 15 yards a pair of catches in that loss to Jacksonville. So many people were curious how the Gronk-Ramsey matchup would go after the Ramsey jawing, but it never really materialized, did it?
No, Jalen Ramsey plays the corner, so not very often is he going to be on Rob Gronkowski, only in certain formations. So that was really a non-issue. Gronk did have a big opening week against Houston, 123 yards. But after the game, he gave credit to Jacksonville with how they defended him and said he has to study tape and figure out better ways to get open.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. Brady's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Brady. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Gronkowski again, he was the intended target. Third down here. Again, they'll throw with Brady. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Preston Smith with a big-time sack on third down. And it'll be a loss of 7. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This one from 35 yards away. And Gostkowski's kick is good. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these 2 teams as we come back for this second half. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So the Patriots coming out now. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Now a play fake here on first down. Left side, it's Dorsett. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
Go, 66. Wait. 29. Alpha.
Brady now on first down. He finds Dorsett. It's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or a man coverage. The drag route can be effective when it's run well.
So second in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. On third down, that's White, and he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling. On play action, now Brady. Going for the deep ball. And this is caught. Touchdown, Patriots. Josh Gordon, 45 yards. And the Patriots add 6 to their lead. Gostkowski the extra point. And the lead grows to 10-0. Gostkowski now out to kick it away. So here's the Redskins offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever they do, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And he's brought down after a good gain. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Smith now 8 of 15 through the air, but it's 1st and 10 here. A toss play. This is Peterson. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
On 2nd down, here's Smith. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off around the 27. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Well, with that incompletion, we've got to talk about the ties that we've seen in weeks 1 and 2. Everyone was talking about the Steelers-Browns week 1, Charles, but week 2 we saw another. The game that you had, Vikings and Packers.
Yeah, and do you know something? They tied at 29. You know, it's the first time teams have tied with the score 29-29 in NFL history, so another little oddity that you throw in there. But I think the common characteristic between the Vikings, Packers, and the Steelers-Browns from week 1, kicking. The kicking game got both games and really affected in a big way. The Browns could have won, had a field goal blocked. The Vikings could have won. Their field goal kicker missed 3. And Mason Crosby, the Packers, made 1. But the Vikings had called timeout. He had to do it again, and he missed. So there you go. 2 ties in the first 2 weeks.
First time that's happened since 1971. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
To throw, it's Brady. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And this is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Redskins will take control of the football in great field position. The Redskins offense now, they head back onto the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Again, Peterson down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that. MVU. Well done.
And they pick up the 1st down there with a gain of 4. Now a 1st down throw. It's Smith. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. Give him 8 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They give it to Peterson. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. The offense on third down tonight, just 1 for 5 to this point. They're looking at third and the nose of the football. He can run for it, and he will. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. 5 yards that time, taking it himself, and he has enough for the first. Now it's Adrian Peterson. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
On 2nd down, Peterson able to spin free. And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. Now we're going to get a timeout here called by the Patriots. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. The Redskins on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They're looking at third and a few inches. Another toe for the workhorse here this afternoon, Peterson. And the penetration too strong. He won't make it back to the line of scrimmage.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They come out here in the eye. Desperation time for Smith on 4th down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Jay Gruden's guys unable to convert on 4th down. And the Patriots defense is going to take over on downs.
Alabama, 380. Check it. We go. Quick.
They'll start the drive with a give to White. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers. Fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it. And let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. New England on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4. Now a play fake. Brady. And now a fumble. Brady loses the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
Here's Ryan Allen now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. Now it's Crowder. him 11 yards that time on the return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
Yeah, a simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position. We were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence. Not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Here's Smith. Going to throw again. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Caught on the right side, Reed. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Patriots defense is going to take over on downs. Now the Patriots gearing up to go now. Getting down to the end here, they have a 2-score lead. Barely, but it's a 2-score lead, so that probably makes you as a coach feel a lot more comfortable right now, doesn't it, Charles?
It does, but it doesn't mean now you go out and run option or some kind of wild double reverse or anything like that. But you do know that if anything does go haywire, you're still in control of this game.
I want a double reverse, don't you?
I'm just waiting for that day where we actually see something like that in this situation.
We'll see what happens here.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Brady going to throw here. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the Redskin defense as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Tough spot for the Pats now after the sack as Brady will lead them up 3rd and long. To throw is Brady. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Crowder now to return. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yeah, 2-score game.
Onside kick and get the ball back and then score again. But they can't worry about the last 2 points. The only thing that matters is scoring quickly. Then they'll take it from there.
A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off at the 38, and they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now and the Redskins Tackles do get to him. He goes down for a sack. The Redskins looking for another timeout, and they get it. As they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Brady going to look to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Zach Brown. The Redskins going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
220, 380, so. Here we go. 29, Alpha. Right.
Brady to throw. Slant route caught by Edelman. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Now they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's fourth down. The storyline of this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada.
Hey, what's up, gang? Let me go secure for the game right quick. Hey, what's up, gang? I got it. I think it's my fault. For real. What's up, the rest. Hey, I got that chicken to go. I'm gone. A lot of these look lost. They broke. They think it's my fault. No car. I want that caught. I'm dripping. I'm stuck with the sauce. Good drip. But she love you. Don't cut your. Reynolds Da Vinci is white. Limited Louis, that's light. Rape in the city, that's light. LED, look at the lights. We the ones don't like. But you look too light. Why even play with your life? Bank account looking like yikes. I went from filling out kites to putting it in my block. Blue Gucci sweater is drill. Somebody give me a. These ain't like the cops.
feeling stressed. Bigger the bag, bigger the beef, bigger the problem, bigger the be one of the all on the scene. Broke at the end of the month, flow Joe, kill mo, run it up, keep clean. Never let them touch, fits like temper tantrums. Girl, come back that up, all in the club, and bring all your girlfriends. Girl hopping up about a Pearl 6, Louis speed bag glued to her wrist. She was getting paid, she ain't think a thing, but she was thinking slay. We blade thicker than a Snicker bag. Talking about she don't come with no baggage. All in her bag, I probably should. I'm really just running for money. I'm love flow Joe chasing a check. I'm really gonna run up the money. I'm Carl Lewis, really running the best. Car moving through these hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. Car moving through these hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. I'm really just running for money. I'm love flow Joe chasing a check. I'm really gonna run up the money. I'm Carl Lewis, really running the best. Car moving through these hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying fly, Eagles, fly as they get ready to match up with the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line.
Hang in there now. 4, 2, go. This by 7. Here we go. Waiting. 59, right? Ram.
Wentz now on first down. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed. Because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Throwing his Wentz. Buying time to his left. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down.
Nice movement there by Carson Wentz outside of the pocket, completes another pass. Help me out here, partner. He's not sneaky athletic. He is athletic. How many times do I have to say it?
Yeah, you've been making that declaration for a while, and at 6'5", he ran a 40 of 4.77, so not only big, but he can move.
That's a good time for a quarterback. He and Andrew Luck, similar physiques, similar athletic ability.
Sunday. Backpack. 180.
Wentz to throw on second down. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Steven Nelson able to get a hand in coverage.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Now Wentz on third down. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
Yeah, really turned it loose, didn't he? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
And he has got it. From 55 yards away, that was never in doubt. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Here we go now.
On 2nd down, here's Mahomes. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
And now before this 4th and 2 play comes to fruition, they're going to think about it and call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. They do go for it. It's Mahomes. And it's complete to Kelsey. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a 1st down.
Here we go now.
On 1st down, Mahomes. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Mike Bennett, he's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Here we go.
Here's Mahomes to throw. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Rodney McLeod that time able to knock it away.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
On 3rd and long, it's Mahomes. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Brandon, their last miss on 3rd down, they actually were able to alleviate it because they picked it up with a 4th down conversion. I don't know that they'd be wise to try and do that again here. To me, you got to punt the ball away.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throwing now is Wentz. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
This is Ajayi. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
5-7. At least 5-7. At least 5-2.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. They'll come up on a 3rd and 4 here to start things out.
Run. Shorty. Go. Waiting.
Now Wentz. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Tano Passigno with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7. Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. Tyreek Hill back deep for Kansas City. This is taken at the 23. 12 yards on the return that time. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. As this Chiefs offense comes back onto the field, let's dive a little deeper into their start so far and what we've seen from Patrick Mahomes. You know, one interesting nugget on that win at Pittsburgh, that was something that KC had not done since 1986.
That's pretty impressive. Both of them being in the AFC, they would encounter each other at times on schedule, right? They also encounter each other potentially in the playoffs. Number of opportunities gone for KC. Finally got it done with Patrick Mahomes. So the question has to be asked, though. They had Alex Smith, who was a terrific quarterback. Was going to Pro Bowls. How did Kansas City know he would be this good? Did they know, or did they suspect, and they went with their instinct?
So I'm assuming you, like everybody else, think that KC may be a little bit better than we thought preseason?
I think there's no doubt about it. I think Patrick Mahomes allows them to expand their playbook and put the real big play back into effect with his arm to throw it downfield to Tyreek Hill.
And just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. Mahomes going to hand it off to Hunt. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
From midfield, here's Mahomes. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Mahomes throwing on 4th. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage to the 35. How about them biting off 15 yards there on the 4th down attempt and keeping the drive alive? They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. Well, let's take a step away from this game for a second. Talk about teams that are undefeated through 2 weeks in the NFL season. Miami, Denver, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay. How about those surprises all being 2-0 right now?
Yeah, the Jaguars, the Chiefs, and the Rams are all 2-0. Not a major surprise. You're exactly right, because they have one common characteristic, those teams you mentioned, Miami, Denver, Cincinnati, and Tampa. None of them made the playoffs last year. And what's the one thing we do know about the NFL? Roughly half the teams that made the playoffs the year before will not make them 2 years in a row. So these teams could be some of the early replacements in the playoff race for 2018.
And one more stat, 62% of teams that start 2-0 make the playoffs. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They run with Ajayi, and he'll get this up to about the 40. A minute 58 to go in this first half of play. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this.
Come on now, come on now, let's go. Ram. For Tokyo.
They'll toss it to Ajayi. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
And when the defense wins and gives up no yardage on a running play, that's something they can build on and carry themselves forward throughout the game.
Lion.
Now wins. Looking for Jeffrey, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And this will be incomplete. He was looking for Tyreek Hill that time. And it's 3rd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home. And they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
I wonder if they just kind of outguessed themselves a little bit trying to run it on 3rd down. Probably should have gone to the air to try and pick it up. Instead, the punting unit will have to run on the field.
Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. Well, taking a glance across the NFL through 2 weeks of the season, you've got quite a few teams that are winless, which obviously makes sense 2 weeks in, but the John Gruden era not off to the best start there at 0-2, Charles.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, Brandon. I mean, the Raiders, I believe this is the 15th time in franchise history they've started 0-2. None of the previous 14 times have they started 0-2 and made the playoffs. So the John Gruden era, not off to the start they're looking for, but I do think they're going to improve during the year. I wouldn't rule them out just yet. They might make a little bit of history with their franchise. I think the Steelers and the Browns at 0-1-1, it's an odd record. But the Browns actually feel halfway decent about it. They can fix their kicking. The Steelers, utterly disappointed they're 0-1-1.
Yeah, but the Browns, you're right, they could very easily be 2-0 right now. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And it's picked up by the Chiefs.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
Right, should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. Sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Here we go. Waiting. Liz 5-3.
From the gun, it's Wentz. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by the free safety, Eric Berry. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
And he showcases the spin, a pretty good gain before he's taken down. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action.
Here we go now.
Mahomes to throw on second down. It's Kelsey on the grab. And down inside the 15 he goes. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. A first trip to the red zone for KC. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line.
Here we go.
Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. And Butker able to put this one through. And that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. You know, maybe a nice psychological boost there just to get back to even with that field goal as we head towards half.
Coaching 101 always says at halftime, play it like it's 0-0 on the scoreboard. Well, in this case, it's level, right? Same score each side. Just start over. Now you get the second half to play.
The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
A final shot before half for Wentz. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Ron Parker. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Second half ready to roll. 2 field goals, the combined output in half number 1. Could be first touchdown wins. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hunt. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On 3rd down. It's Hunt, and this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 4th down. And a tough ask here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 9. They're going to try and throw. And it is incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They've got great field position, obviously, to start this drive. Tie game, do you maybe go a little riskier here with that great field position?
I think some guys look at it and say, let's go. Be aggressive. Be bold. Let's get it downfield right now. Other guys will look at it and say, you know something? I think we're in a position to get 3 points if we don't make any big mistakes. Run our offense, get in that spot, and see if you get the 3, and hopefully maybe even more.
Either way, I bet they're happy to have options. To throw is Wentz. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time. And now it's 3rd down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And the kick by Elliott is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. Well, they don't get a touchdown here on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, but I think maybe you still say mission accomplished as they come away with the lead.
No, absolutely. You keep the pressure on, right? You go downfield, get some points up on the board, and hope that you've motivated your defense to take the field and hold that lead.
And now here comes Kansas City. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. This is Hunt. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And Hill with it over the middle. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. A very solid gain of 27. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Pass incomplete. Nigel Bradham, the linebacker, right there on the coverage. Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build.
Oh, he tried to pitch it, and the ball's loose.
On plays like this, where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And the kick by Butker is good. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. Well, you talk about clutch. That one was right down Broadway, and this game's all even here in the fourth.
Yeah, he didn't leave any doubt, did he? Good snap, good hold, dead center. Almost like a big-time golfer in a major, firing at a pin from the fairway, trying to win the tournament going down the stretch.
And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Come on now. Come on now. Let's go. Hey, stack. Great. Single.
On second down, here's Wentz. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. To throw, it's Wentz. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Justin Houston in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it'll be 4th down. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. And out come the Chiefs now. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. Well, at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down. Now it's Hunt. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
It'll go as a gain of 10 and a Kansas City first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving. This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Mahomes to the former Rams, Sammy Watkins for the Kansas City first. On the run, this is Hunt. Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. And now a timeout taken here defensively with 2:07 remaining. So they'll also have the stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. And the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Mahomes now to throw. This is complete to Watkins on the slant. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. Tie game, 4th quarter, and they're going for this thing on 4th down. He may try and run for this. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that. But by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down.
Here we go now. Green, 90. Green, 58 rail. Black, 58 rail.
Here's Hunt. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. And the Eagles are going to go ahead and take another timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
Black, 58 rail. Black, 58 rail. Here we go now. Green, 90. Green, 90.
They run again with Hunt. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Here we go.
They'll toss it to Hunt. A good gain there on 3rd and 8 of 7 yards, and now a decision here on 4th and 1. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
And Butker able to put this one through. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you get a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. Back to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. I want to go back to something you said in the first quarter.
Is it a positive?
It is a positive.
Okay.
About winning the turnover battle. As a visiting team, as an underdog, you were right. They've done just that, and look where it's gotten them.
It's part of the formula. When you go on the road, as you mentioned, being an underdog, winning the turnover battle is a big key, and this one's playing out in this one.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions. They're giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. Here's the King.
Money back. Money back. Money back. Make it like a money back. Money back. God, I do the Maybach on Monday, Ferrari Friday. This is sweet Saturday, that's just with plastic. I said, babe, it's, he said it's a, them pretty, you look like Beyonce, looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, yeah, money back, money back.